Hey there, defenders of the Ark, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Frostwardens, Episode 3, Makeshift Defenses. Okay, Zeuson's heading with the last batch of limestone for the one wall that we need. And that will be roughly the structure of the remaining area. I'm planning ahead to having a second hydroponics here. But that's going to be pretty far in the future. So I'll put a door there. And here. Alright, that looks good. Some construction botch as a result of lowered manipulation from injuries. Technically, it's unrestricted time. It's work time, but you are bed resting, so let's stop that. Let's see if we can go about trying to get all the slag smelted down. That'd be a good goal for today. Also, perhaps pull what little resources like the wood here back into our base. So we have, how much wood do we have total? 725. Okay. It's good to know what we're working with. And there isn't really much I can do for their mood here. I mean, the barracks is awful. Perhaps I'll move their beds finally into the living quarters. And then if I'm doing that, I ought to move the stonecutter in as well. It's not really in a convenient spot, because we're going to be stumbling over it, but anywhere else, and it's not going to be, you know, just sort of has to go there, I guess. And then once the beds are moved, I'll get the last heater in there as well. I'm not interested in heating everywhere, just where we need it. Quantum, thank you for the bits. And Chelsea for the resub. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, it does look like we're in the net positive for food. We have more growing than we're consuming, which is good. Once we have really good food supply, we can consider adding to our numbers. Of course, adding to our numbers means, you know, perchance upsetting the balance of power between our two factions. So there is interesting consequences as a result. Because right now it's even, but it won't remain even for long. There is a ritual opportunity coming up, but the ritual opportunities that we have for ideologies are more or less going to be ignored for the meantime, because we don't have a means to really supply what makes a ritual good. Meaning, you know, a ritual room and participants and an altar and all that stuff. Clean up the blood, dude? What blood? There's this little thing of blood, but that's about it. The blood forgives, or the snow forgives and forgets. I meant to have this turned off. Axios, you're pretty happy. You're also a jogger. And let's bring the heater in as well. Is there anywhere that I could illuminate? Technically, yeah. That there. Put this here. That might be a little bit better of a layout. And I'll further stagger this heater to be in line with the other two. So this will go down to 64. So as far as slag goes, we only have 4 things left in the entire map of slag. So today I'll try to get rid of all of the slag. Now that might change. You know, pod drop raids and the like do cause slag. And the outside temperature is about -40, which is both true in Celsius and Fahrenheit. It's cold, and it's still summer. Perimeter security is about, I don't know, 5/6 done. And as far as research into microelectronics goes, we're just about a third. Oh, Fish Pit and Nabla just partied up. Here's where it's a little bit more challenging about where to put people, how to place them. I'm gonna just nudge things around to try to make room. What was the, you charmed her by complimenting her diet. Yeah. She eats like a bird. Rice. And rice only. And I think we can start to retire the last 2 ruin rooms soon as well. One of the reasons to do that is they're made of steel. And I don't have a means to produce steel at the moment, so the rooms themselves, the structure, the walls, the floor, is actually pretty valuable. I'd like not to have to break down our electric smelter. There is an alternative method, which is a bloomery, but a bloomery requires fuel. So if we did end up using a bloomery, it will inevitably burn up our wood supply. So I'm trying to avoid going the route to the bloomery as well. Alright, I think we're done. Oh no, we're not actually done smelting. There is 2 more slag left. Let's get that, and then we can uninstall the smelter to free up some space in the room. And we're almost done with the perimeter, and then I'll do the defenses afterwards. Any animals yet? Still no. No, I'm going to have you do the last of the slag. There. He's a happy little pup. He thanks you for the treats. So we're missing 13 walls, 5 apiece, so just like 5 or 6 chunks left for cutting. And then we'll have perimeter security. Dirkirty, thank you for the resub. Oh yeah. Like 2 chunks left now. Getting close. Uh-oh. We have some food illness. Nobla just succumbed. Zeusin is now on the research bench as a result. I hope it wasn't a batch of 4, but likely it was. And I'm updating the home zone to include the inside of our base, but not the outside beyond the walls. What happens out there stays out there. As I mentioned before, the Stalwart Social is going to have to be skipped this year, maybe next year. And there are 4 social events. 2 for the Stalwarts and 2 for the Pilgrims, and they happen on the first of the seasons. So the Stalwarts have the first of fall and the first of spring, and the Pilgrims have the first of summer and the first of winter. Or they should, unless I screw them up. Yep, that is correct. Alright, I think everything outside the walls has been hauled in. So, security. Let's try to come up with a reasonable-ish design. It's gotta be cheap, but effective. So what I want is to feed them to this door, which will be kept open and airlocked. And then this area will have barricades. I'm a little worried about shots fired on this wall, because there's nothing really stopping enemies from trying to take cover behind this wall. But once we have a little bit more wood, I can engineer a solution where the enemies will only have access to, like, a wall here that doesn't have a line of sight on anyone. In fact, I might even design that now. I'm going to see about I'm going to do a line of sight check. Why use the door if barricades could be passed over? Good point. The intention is just to drive them through this door, and this will be left open as the only access point to the base. So from here, cannot hit target. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do, is I'll bridge this up to block them from using this wall, so they can't edge up here and use this for cover. Leaving this as a void. And then likewise, I'll have a second spot to shoot out from. Not all the eggs in one basket. And at some point, maybe we get moisture pumps, to be able to remove the water in these specific sections, and this section to make it more secure, or design it however we see fit. It's also worth noting that I think that if you moisture pump the water out, it becomes soil, so it might be possible to actually do some farming. There is soil on this map tile. Just keeping it warm is an expensive endeavor. So we aren't stuck necessarily in only using hydroponics. If we want to try to grow other things besides hydroponically grown food, it just becomes a bit of a challenge. So far, Nabla's the only one that fell ill. Sort of curious if it was a single meal that went awry. I'm thinking that's the case. Oh, good. They'll prepare a while. There is 7 of them, and we already have perimeter security. So I think I'm going to send Fish Pickles out here to get this built, and Zeusin out here. I'll get Zeusin to cut a little bit of stone to get some basic barricades up, because there's time to prepare. But I think the problem is, like, Nabla will be incapacitated more or less, unless she's heading towards recovery. So we've got biocoated machine pistol, 2 auto pistols, a Molotov, and then melee weapons. 7 of them in total. And we're kind of sort of down to 3. We have some barricades now. I almost thought about stopping Fish Pickles from eating, worried that the next meal would be poisoned. Alright, this guy is way out on front, and that's not going to be good for his health. I'm not sure what some of the others are doing. They're taking a path that makes less sense to me. Oh, they're trying to break in. Okay. Ooh, and we got some medicine off of there. Nabla's still not moving very fast. Let's actually hold ground here. Oh, that works. Perfect. They're not even using barricades for cover? Idiots. I love it. They're down. Barton. Tough, lazy misandrist. Axios, you wanna keep going? Actually, you know what? Han, you are jealous. You just patch Fish Pickles instead. And then, as far as corpse goes, I'm gonna put the dumping stockpile here. No injuries? Oh no, Fish Pickles got shot a little bit. He's tough though. You could take it. Need warm clothes. It's going to get down to negative 100. Yep. I don't have anything else to say, but yep. Yeah, having some basic defenses makes a very significant difference, as you might have been able to notice. Apparently, target practice was... Oh, Zeusin, you probably don't want to see this. Your, ooh, Ambrosia. Your loved one is a brutal, enforcer of our dear colony. And you don't need to bear witness to his, war crimes. Keeps us safe, though. Another good harvest. I like this pattern. I hope it holds. And we are nearly at the halfway mark for research into microelectronics. All right, what is going on with this? Oh, there it is. Trying to click on the filth, and I couldn't before. Power's looking pretty good. Batteries aren't getting drained too badly. And this will be the dedicated door left open. So that it's even harder to get to, because they have to snake around the deep water. Oh, Zeus went to sleep. And we'll just add, yeah, actually, I might want to have it be physically separated. Just so that if they're at the breach door, we can use the other porthole. Noble, you working overtime? I think yes. We're pretty close on having the perimeter done. And then my plan is to try to phase out the old buildings entirely and salvage their steel. But so far, people have remained fairly happy with how things are being run, which is fantastic. We don't have anyone too overly upset. I'm going to prioritize this wall here, which is kind of the retaining wall, before finishing off the barricades. I just wanted to specify what I want done first. It'd also be good to haul away any cover that they might use. The chunks of the slag that are closest to the base, as well as the mountains and things that could be used for cover, ought to be mined up so that they can't be used against us. Alright, so we have that retaining wall. That's perfect. And it all is underneath home zoned. Con Humanus, thank you for the resub. Alright, Zeus, and get to cook. Oh, I'm going to force you to cook rather than horseshoes. So I was lucky. It did seem to be only the one meal that went wrong. And none of the others. So I didn't have because we have, you know... Oh, hello. We did have the potential of every member getting food poisoning, which would have been devastating. Ah, this looks like a slightly easier raid. Man, that's a tattoo? I was gonna say, I like your beard. I don't think any of them are specifically faster than the others. So they'll hit us all at once, and they are attacking immediately. These are the godless abattoir. Yeah, in terms of raids, it's been pretty consistent. Right? It's not like we're getting left alone much. So they should be coming up around here. And this will be the first time we get to actually use their defenses. And I'll leave the door open so that if we have to flee, we can flee and shut the door behind us, giving us some breathing room. A psychopath night owl, a chemical interest undergrounder. And they're already fleeing. Do you have anything worth taking? No, you don't. We'll let you go. Axios. You have a little extra work to do. Sorry to say. But we did get some herbal medicine and wake up. And I think... yeah, I'm going to have herbal medicine be our default for now. If we get ill, flu, plague, those kind of things, I'll consider using industrial meds. Because industrial meds are going to be relatively difficult to come by and manufacture as a result of the extremely limited amount of Nutrimine that we're going to have available to us. Luckily, you are on a bloodlust high, so I can abuse you and have you work extra hours. I also have, at the moment, nobody allowed to take drugs. You may have noticed that the pilgrims believe in their ideology that social drugs are allowed, but not all drugs. So Nobla and Zeusin, for instance, have no problem taking a wake up, but Axios won't. Ideologen forbids. So there are a lot of small differences between their ideology in terms of like drug usage or relationships or organ transplantation. And of course, these will become exacerbated as time goes on, so that they'll take even more extreme positions as the series progresses. I almost feel like I should just leave these corpses out here as a reminder to the next set of raiders. Hey, this is what happens to you. You get put on a little ice floe. Sent off like a Inuit. So we only need 1 or 2 more cut to get finished. So one more barricade. Trying to get an angle from this barricade is actually going to be really rough. So I'm not even going to have it be a barricade. I'm just going to have it be a wall. Current priority. Phase out steel buildings. So there's a few different reasons for it. One is we can't produce steel, so we definitely want to salvage it off of the structures that are here. But another kind of obvious one to most RimWorld players is steel is hella flammable. And I just don't want our valuables in a steel building if I can help it. Because that feels to me like a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to build a new stockpile room. And then start to break down the old buildings. I'd also like to start working on what will, for now, be a workshop, but eventually will be another farm. Which means I'm going to be installing things in there that can be uninstalled. So nothing that's going in this area here is going to be a permanent installation. And maybe it'd be nice to get those 2 stools finally made so they're not just... Wow, really not leave me alone. You're coming in with EMP grenades? I don't have any implants. So, okay. And they're attacking immediately. Honestly, fish, just keep working. You might even... Oh, they're not getting lured away. Okay. Honestly, shoot anyone but the EMP dude. The EMP dude can live as long as he... Oh, wow. You are very happy about being shot. Oh, he has a map. Do you? You have pack of survival meals? Oh, hold on. So I can't corpse loot for, like, weapons and armor, as is in the rules, but the supplies that they drop is fair game. This is mostly for balancing mechanics. Because otherwise, there'd be a tidy sum of profit to be made off of looting the dead. So, the location of White Spoo has been revealed. No, that's bugged. It's not supposed to reveal everything. But yeah, we are very much alone in the Arctic Circle, as you can see. Ain't nobody around. But roaming marauders. Let's focus on this structure first, which will be the new storeroom. Design it like that. And that way we can have uninstalled buildings here. That will look a little bit more neat. And I didn't want to have it share it with an external wall. It increases the cost, but it means that if raiders do break in, this room will be spared from being looted initially. It is negative 61 Celsius out. It is the 4th of fall. The need warm clothing is like yelling at me. It's like, this is as warm as it gets. There is no woolly animals out here. It's just me and ice. How's our clothing holding up anyway? 90s. 1 in the 75s. So planting cotton, not a terrible idea in the long run, because we'll need to supply our own textiles. Okay, that wasn't overhead mountain. Good. Shack of Fortune. Oh, Luciferium. With no guarantee of a resupply? Yeah, that sounds like just signing your soul away to the devil. I'm gonna go with no thanks. Sounds terrible. Sounds really awful. Let's pivot back over to limestone and get these walls done. So now we have some stools. The best stool is underneath the research bench, which makes the most sense. And yeah. I haven't really been using the ancient lamps. It's a nice free source of light, kind of like a glow pod or something, but I don't think structuring our base around them makes a heck of a lot of sense. So I'm just going to phase them out. Can't be uninstalled, can't be moved, so they don't really help us in the long run. And research is moving along. We're closing in on 2/3 done. Fish Pickles is starting to get hypothermia. So I think this is the first sign of hypothermia. It's negative 64 out. 65 now. So it is frighteningly cold. Especially that, given it's, like, not winter yet. 26 meals is pretty good. Plus the 11 package survivals in reserve. So one of the things I'm going to start to do is I'm going to require the colonists to stay close to the base, because venturing far away from the base during the deepest parts of winter could be pretty fatal, or at the very least result in amputated fingers and toes and noses and stuff. And trying to keep our bodies from, you know, falling apart is, I think, kind of important. So I'm painting a slightly larger zone so that they can be productive in, like, hauling building materials throughout the winter. And I'll shrink the allowed zone further and further as it gets colder and colder. Eventually constricting it to probably just inside the walls. It really depends on how cold it gets. And, you know, how hypothermic everyone becomes. We'll call this storage room shelves. It will be a low priority for everything. And there we go. Let's get the shelves built. So we'll go from limestone to slate. And these shelves, made of steel, are going to be linked together. And then once we have enough shelves to move everything over, I will abandon the old. I'm actually going to change the layout a little bit to add one more here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 19th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow survivors.